This week in gaming, we have had a state of play. The Switch 2 has launched, and Summer Game Fest is tomorrow, and so much more. The day of the devs, all of the things are happening. Guys, this is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, even though he shows up later and later every week, Derek Daniel. How's it going, Derek?
It's going pretty well, man. I'll say had a eventful week. Got to go to my godson's birthday party this past weekend, so had some fun. Got to catch up with some friends, and got to play some video games. We had a state of play, last minute announcement, and that aired yesterday. Thankfully, I was off, so I could watch it in all of its glory. Like you said, the summer of announcements and new things in the air, like new car smells are in the air today. There was a Switch 2 release. I know everyone had a bunch of, and one of my old GameStop boss, he had a big launch party for it today. He had some catering come out to him to, help launch the event. Like one of my buddy that I saw this weekend that has my godson, he was able to snag an extra Switch 2 at Best Buy where he lives. So
Let's go.
There are extras in the wild, but they're probably already snatched up by now if you're watching this, guys.
Yeah.
So and it's weird because one of the early spoil of a quick hit is to combat, I guess, the questionnaires that will still that won't stop anything. They sent Nintendo sent retail stores out of stock signs for when they're out of Switch 2 units, so that way customers don't walk in and waste their time standing in line for nothing. But then the questions will still be, well, when are you going to get more? How long will it take you to get, yada yada yada. So it's never ending.
Yeah. Rita, welcome to the stream. And Amy has a question. Is it true that store receipts are being stapled to the Switch 2 screens?
I have not heard that, and I pray that's not true, because I swear to you, if that is the case, if I find out stores are doing that, I will literally get arrested, because I will come behind the counter and punch them in the face.
IGN posted it. Okay, let's look this up. Okay.
Oh boy. I'd like to know who's doing it, because I swear if it's my old stomping ground, I will definitely be glad I left that place.
Yeah, like I know you were working during the Switch 1 release and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it annoying people coming in and is like, "Oh, do you have a Switch? When you're going to get a Switch?"
I mean, we did have phone calls. It was after the fact. Like most people were trying to get one day one, and once we told them they were out, they kind of was just like, cool, and then they left it be. But then, the phone calls happened. It's like, oh, the phone calls were like never ending. It was just like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, like they had those $1,000 bundles, but you got every launch game with it. But it was $1,000. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that was. Oh,
it is, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. How every day we stray further from grace.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We're gonna share this. This is gonna be on the
brother. You can't make this up.
The horizontal stream. Let me get us get us set up here for this.
And me without alcohol in my fridge.
Derek over here gonna be turned to drinking. All right. So let's pull this off as well. So a GameStop reportedly ruined new Nintendo Switch 2 consoles with receipts stapled to the screen. But hey, Walmart is giving out free chips and soda to celebrate the launch day. The Nintendo 2 retail launch has spawned a dramatic tale of two retailers in the U.S. In one corner, a GameStop has reportedly ruined some brand new consoles by stapling receipts. It's like, how are you getting the receipt all the way to?
Yeah,
Well,
and it's like, why would you staple it? Why wouldn't you? Because back in the day, or like for the
tape on it.
Well, yeah, tape. Because so like when we did that stupid thing where like how GameStop would gut a game to have it as a display, right?
Yeah.
On the sales floor. So that it was still new, we would take these circle stickers, wrap it around where the case opens, so that way we know if it was opened or not.
Mm.
So, and then when the PS5 and Series X and S launched, we would take a copy of their receipt and like because we had to match the serial number, so no one got screwed up with
Yeah.
warranties.
Yeah.
And we would take a circle sticker and just tape it to the outside of the box. What for one, I like you, it's like I have questions because it's like my first thought was when it said it's stapled to the receipt. It's like, are they taking the tablet out of the box and
Yeah.
stapling it? Like, how? First of all, how do you even manage that? Second of all, what idiot thought that was a good idea? But also, it's like to your point, it's like, are they stapling it? How long are those staples that it's going through to puncture the screen or damage the screen? And it's like, why not just use tape? Like, why are we having to be extra? Like, why? Because that could be, if you're giving it to a kid, that could be a hazard. They could prick their, like, they could stab themselves if
Yeah.
they're opening it. Because you know how, especially if it's a young kid, they get all excited when they see something, like they just start tearing into things. They don't have any kind of spatial awareness to anything. So it's like, uh, why? Why?
Let's go a little bit further. We got a
Oh
little bit
God.
more details here. The painful GameStop incident, shared by folks like Game Deal's hound Wario64, started with Reddit user Conflict, whose original post to our GameStop has since been taken down. Of course, they're gonna, take down anything that makes them look bad.
Oh
They
yeah.
said their Nintendo Switch 2 had a receipt stapled to the top of the box, apparently with a stapler so heavy duty that it punctured straight through the screen of the console, leaving a hefty scratch. This was just one GameStop location in New York, which I've been
Yeah.
unable to reach despite multiple phone calls. Though the number of conflicts receipt is indeed legitimate, but it made for a nightmare story that has spread around the gaming community. And apparently, in a follow-up post, Conflict claims a manager told them they have replacement switches coming from another store. So they took my name and my number down and told me that they'll give me a call when they come in and we'll just do a simple exchange.
My next question was this the only one, or did they do it to multiple people, or this was just the person who put them on blast?
I don't know, dude. Like, apparently somebody screwed the pooch over there. Amy says that one employee that partook in some grass before his shift.
I guess, like, at this point though, that almost would be, I don't. That would be the easy way out, because if you, there are some idiots that work there now, man, like that I've heard horror stories, and it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if they just were like a few IQ points short of a rock. So
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting, apparently Walmart was giving like out goodies and everything.
mhm.
And would you like, they even have like a little thank you down here. Like, how would you feel if you got like a soda and okay, before we get to that, do
Yeah.
you mess with the pizza Pringles? Like the pizza
Not
flavor?
really. I did partake in so we got a for Memorial Day weekend, we got a shipper with some new flavors. They did a Miller Lite
Mm,
collab with a grilled beer brat flavor and a beer can chicken flavor. I got the grilled beer brat. Good. It's not
okay,
great,
okay,
but it's good. I didn't try the beer can chicken, but
okay.
I'm glad I bought it because I was off the next day and then came back Sunday morning, opened
Gone.
where I put it. Yeah, all of it was gone.
Wow.
I'm just like,
Wow.
you people have taste. Uh,
Now, I used to love the pizza Pringles. Okay,
mhm.
I used to love the pizza Pringles, but what do you feel about like Walmart and even like GameStop and all of that doing these kind of like midnight quote unquote releases? For the Switch, we haven't really seen something like that in a while.
Since the PS5 Series X and S on. I mean,
Yeah,
they pretty much only do it like because with game releases now, especially with the online function, like since games go live at 9 p.m. Pacific
yeah,
time, people just give out games, earlier. So I think but consoles are different. I think it's still to get the justify the hours, get that extra revenue in there. I think they, I'm not. I mean, it still is that mystique. Like the old school in me is like, before I worked for GameStop, like I would always used to go and enjoy going to midnight release because people are there for the same reason you are most of the time. So it's like cool. You get to talk about it, have that camaraderie type thing. But I don't know, with the way internet like delivery is working, and like because people are busier than ever now, I feel like delivery is just more convenience for people. Like the midnight releases are pretty much for. I would cap it at our age, like 35, like anywhere between 18 and 35, like anything, and that's maybe even a stretch, maybe like 30. So, but I feel like that's what that is for. I feel like it's not the market for us anymore.
I agree.
Especially since we both have to get up. Well, you have to get up early consistently. I have to get up early depending on what different earlies. So it's just more convenient to have like if you pre-ordered it, cool. But as long as you're guaranteed it, it's there, it's safe for you for a few days, so you can just pick it up like the day of and not have to go out and like sacrifice sleep, because what's going to happen when you get home anyway, like with like say for you and I, for instance, what's going to happen when we get home anyway? We're going to be tired, we're going to fall asleep, we're not going to feel like setting it up, and even if we did with the download time and everything and the setup, it's just like I'm just going to do it all tomorrow.
Derek's like, yeah, I'm not messing with that. So our friend over on Bono's Gaming, he actually got his Switch 2 in, and he's put out
the days finally arrived. It's Switch 2 day, and I can't wait to
breakdown.
Switch 2 is actually a little
everything.
Thinner.
So if y'all want to go check out and support
port,
Bo's channel,
built-in
please
LAN
go
port,
do that. I'm going to drop
awesome.
this in the chat.
HDMI
so
out and your USB-C port for your charging, and of course ventilation across here,
if you will,
the built-in
all
fan
the gaming
that
news.
That's kind of flimsy feeling. I mean, I'm barely putting any pressure on this at all. Don't like that.
Computer. I don't know why. I'm sending a link, everybody. Everybody's getting a link over here.
It's on. Of everything that I've opened
Derek
here,
loves when
this feels the
hit him with
cheapest, just because
it
really does feel. That's crazy.
So yeah, y'all go check out. Like, look at that! Like the comparison between
it will copy my stuff because I have a Nintendo account, but it
is much
completely
bigger.
removes my kids' accounts from. Definitely has.
I know a lot of people are kind of dogging.
Everybody's trying to download stuff, so it's taking a long time.
Mario Kart
Haptics
World
feel really good too. They're subtle.
The
colors on the screen
are
really vibrant.
That it's like really empty and just not a lot to the game.
Okay. But that's been a quick look at the Switch.
We are getting
I gotta get this thing set up so I can start playing.
Thank you for letting me know that. I thought because I went over here and closed that down. Wow. Michael said, kind of funny, said someone had delivered at 6 a.m. Wow.
That is the way to go. But
that's the way to go.
I'd also like to know how much they paid for that shipping, because I'm sure standard shipping wouldn't have got there at 6 a.m. Just saying. Maybe, depending on who delivered it.
So Bo did get his through Walmart. He's got the pizza Pringles. Let's go. I love that. All right, guys. Enough about the Switch. Let's talk about what you've been playing, Derek. You said you got to play a little bit of games, and we want to hear also what you've been playing down in the comments below. So let us know, because we love hearing about what you've been playing. Derek?
So I've been playing, I didn't get to play a lot, but I did play another little bit of Assassin's Creed Origins. I did kill my next target to progress the story. And something I'm noticing, like not so much the first group of enemies that you take out in the game, but like this next group of 4 that you're taking out. Like I've only taken out half of them, the scarab, and then I took out the hyena.
The hyena fight was interesting.
It really was. It really was like, it was an interesting take, and I'm just like, okay, this is different. Like Assassin's Creed really doesn't, and it's like, again, it's in Egypt. You have to capture stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For
that fight, when you said the name, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. For that to stick, it's pretty big for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's also a good point, because Zach's terrible with names, guys, if you didn't know. Especially an anime name. But no, like what I'm seeing with the scarab and the hyena, they're trying to make these boss or these villains more sympathetic, more human. It feels like, because like with the Scarab, you know, before you meet up with him in another part of the another city, you meet his wife and child, and they talk like his son is so proud of him for what he's built, what he's building, like all this kind of stuff, and he can't wait to grow up and just be like him. And you meet him, and he's a nice guy, and you know, you go and take care of some stuff for him, and then for him to just turn and be like, oh yeah, because I said it right before it happened, because they're just the way he looked at Bayek at the dinner table, like after it's all said and done, I'm just like, is he the Scarab? And sure enough, Bayek gets drugged and then like buried from the head up in the sand. I'm like, bro,
you mean neck down?
Sorry, yeah, neck down. Sorry, but I meant you could only see him from the neck up in the sand. But no, it was just like, man, like they actually made me really like them. Like I thought he was a cool dude. Like I thought the Scarab would be like maybe a relative of his that he was ashamed of or something. No, it was him. And like to have his family basically hate you for doing it, like for killing him. And then the hyena, like, yes, what she was doing was terrible. Like, yes, she has her, you know, she has her motivations, but she was doing it for what she felt like was a good cause. She wanted to bring her child back. And yes, obviously, if you've watched any piece of media, especially like for you, Zach, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, trying to bring someone back to life never goes as planned, or it just doesn't work in general. But I can't, you know, as a parent, like, you know, you want to be the one that's buried by your children, not bury your children.
Yeah.
And so I understand that motivation and I get it. It was just the wrong way to go about it. But, you know, when you're grieving, any little glimmer of hope you're going to latch onto. So I'm really digging, like, so far, again, there's 2 more bosses I have to fight in this group of enemies, so I don't know what's going to pop up from there, but just these 2 boss fights have really stuck with me, just because it's something different. Because Assassin's Creed, it's like bad guy is bad. You really don't have, like, yes, Odyssey did it, you know, where like whatever between the brother and sister Alexios and Cassandra, excuse me, whichever one you picked, the other one, spoilers for Odyssey, but it's also a 7-year-old game at this point. The other one was your main villain in that story. I know. I know. So outside of those takes, like, this is something that Assassin's Creed really doesn't do. They really don't make the villains sympathetic. In the past they've tried, but it's really just, it falls flat a lot of the times. So this one, like, again, this is proving that Origins was like, even though I loved Odyssey, I think Origins being the first RPG and Ubisoft not really knowing how to go into that genre full bore had just yet, or like how, like, just taking a shot in the dark, they really nailed it with this first one.
I want to say one of Ezio's, you fight the Pope.
Yes, I want to say you're right.
You know, I'm just saying, like, how metal is that? It's like, we're going to have our main character fight the Pope.
The Pope.
Is he like super powered? Yes, he is super powered at that point. But the Pope, okay? How many games can claim they've let you fight the Pope? Not a cardinal, not a bishop, I'm talking about the Pope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As close as you get is probably not Requiem. Plague Tale.
Oh yeah, Plague Tale. Yeah.
Plague Tale Innocence. That's the first one. Requiem is the second one. So good. Did you finish that, Derek?
No, I never did.
Sorry, I wasn't bringing you up to salt the wound, but you need to finish it because man, it's so good.
Wait, I finished Innocence. I never finished Requiem. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Requiem. Yeah. Missing out, dude. Missing out. You're gonna cry. Just saying.
Wouldn't be the first time a video game made me cry.
Exactly. Only real men cry at video games. Okay. Dom. You know. Gears of War 3. Oh my God.
If they ever remaster that, I can't wait to break my heart again.
Amy said the Pope. If you beat him, do you get the Pope mobile? I wish it was like you know, it's like, oh, if you're the first team to beat this raid, like your name goes on a statue or whatever. Like how it was like the first 100 people that beat like the crazy difficulty with Diablo 4. Yeah. It's like, oh, if you beat the Pope, the first person to beat the Pope gets the Pope Mobile. Man, how many people would be going like, I want the Pope Mobile?
Yeah.
Like, it's the closest thing is we've got in actual real life as the Batmobile. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Just
in real life,
in real life, I'm not talking about like.
I was gonna say there was Arkham Knight, but then I caught you said real life, so I'm just like, never mind.
Well, we were going to get
Don't
that, but
remind me. Speaking of GameStop decisions that really angered me.
Yeah. So for me, I of course have played a little bit of Solo Leveling Rise. Played a little bit of that. I only got a little taste of Doom the Dark Ages this weekend. Was kind of busy, so only got a couple levels, but they've introduced a new thing into the gameplay flow, which keeps it interesting, which I'm liking. I did get a rocket launcher. They've also introduced some new enemies, so it's not just the same thing over and over again, which I love, because a lot of games that are like Doom get repetitive after a while, you know. So I'm liking that. And Tuesday I played a little bit of Spartan Survivors, which I talked about last week, and played a little bit of that. I'm enjoying it. I want to get a little bit more into it. But then I started playing Blueprints, Derek.
I've heard about that game.
Yeah. So for the uninitiated, Blueprints is you play as this kid that is inheriting this huge 45-room mansion with a secret 46th room. But you have to find the 46th room to get the mansion and the wealth, because your grandfather was a baron. So every time you go through it, there's like, when you enter a room, it counts as like one entrance or whatever, and you get 51 of those when you start a run. And some rooms will give you extra, some will take some away, and all of this kind of stuff. But it's procedurally generated, because when you go to a door, it draws three different types of rooms, and you have to choose, okay, this is the room that I want to go into. So you're trying to build out the map to get to the end of the map to find the hidden room and everything. So it is really cool, dude. And it's like it's an indie game, so there's not like a lot of like gameplay mechanics, but the puzzle mechanics are really cool. And I literally, like, I was taking notes, like physical notes, and then I started just telling Chat GPT, I'm like, hey, this describing it, and I have like a log in Chat GPT where I can go back and ask, hey, I mentioned this thing, can you remind me? And it'll like remind me. And I even started using it to like keep track of some puzzles and help me figure out some puzzles and everything.
That's cool.
So but it's a really, really cool game. I know Kind of Funny had talked about it earlier in the year when it first came out, but Cody, one of our viewers, he was talking about, man, he literally has like a whole Microsoft doc of just like all the clues and like all this stuff, because he really enjoyed the game, and to like understand, because you, like a lot of games, when you like find a code or whatever, there's like some reminder or something in like whatever. There's none of that, Derek. You have to literally write it down or you won't remember it.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
Yeah, I'm digging it, dude. Like, it is such a cool game. I can't wait to play more of it and get more into it. And I'm really excited about it.
So it seems like you found your new itch to scratch.
Yeah, and it's cool to get to play with the community watching and everything, and giving ideas on how to solve puzzles and all of that. So I'm enjoying it a lot. So that is what we've been playing. Let us know what you've been playing down in the comments below. Amy said, "Fake news. It's fake news. It's fake news. The Pope is Batman." He's the best. He's the best around.
He's huge.
Huge. Derek, what shirt are you wearing? I'm trying to decipher.
The Attack on Titan. It's
Okay.
the one I bought at Pensacon.
Gotcha. Because I totally remember the random shirt you bought at Pensacon, Derek.
Oh, I bought 2 random shirts. There's this one and then a tan one.
Yep, don't remember it.
Well, you didn't remember my birthday either, but it's okay.
Guys, Derek has been removed from the stream. He's on the horizontal or the vertical stream right now, but he's been removed from the horizontal stream because I forgot about him. Not that I haven't, apologized profusely for that, but whatever.
I couldn't resist. I had to get that zinger. Out of all the zingers you get me with, I have to get one.
I don't know what you're talking about, Derek. I am nothing but kind and benevolent.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nothing but kind and benevolent. Guys, let's get into the gaming discussion this week. First up, let's talk about some state of play highlights. There was a lot of stuff in this state of play. I have unfortunately not got to watch really other than like a few seconds of each trailer here or there. Right. Just been super, super busy. So we picked a few of the trailers that we're interested in, and I'm really looking forward to the 3 that we picked because, guys, there's like 40 minutes worth of state of play stuff. So if you want to go check out all of it, you can go check out on the PlayStation channel and watch all of that good stuff. So without further ado, Neo 3 has revealed a new trailer, and there is a demo that you can play right now, which is kind of crazy.
It is
kind of crazy. So let's check it out and see what Neo 3 has to offer.
Spirit stones. Shining stones imbued with humankind's never-ending dreams. Since time immemorial, this power has been the impetus for human wars.
I can't take it seriously with the impetus for human wars.
Such an ominous atmosphere, and one thick with the presence of Aratama.
It looks cool.
It does. That would be annoying. Dang.
What makes a shogun? Here is my answer.
Ninja.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm loving the movement right there.
For sure.
Dang, bro, getting messed up.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is a Souls-like, so I mean, it's not going to be easy.
Depths of hell.
Dude, that looks pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad that they're continuing.
Tokugawa.
LeBron James. LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Oh my gosh.
So no, and this is when I was watching, because I watched it live, because I was off yesterday, so I got to watch it live, and I was, Zach, I was on a roll because there was this one. What was it? Pragmata, which we'll see here in a few minutes. And then what was the other one?
007?
No, not that one. Not the trailers we're watching. There was another game that I was just like instantly before they even showed the title, I'm like, oh, this is that game. Like, just for whatever random reason, it's just like seeing like some of the gameplay, the graphics, the enemy types. I'm just like, oh yeah, this game exists. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, huh, cool. It's nice to see this come back with a vengeance. So, yeah. but it is a cool game. I'm glad because when they did this game, it was before Sekiro, essentially. Like the first game came out. So everyone was like, oh, cool. This is like a Souls-like, but you're playing as like a samurai. You get to play in ancient feudal Japan type thing with demons. Like, this is super cool. And then they did Sekiro, and Sekiro just took over the world by storm. But, Neo 2 still came out, and people still loved it just as much. Like, this is like more of an, again, this is like open world. Like, I know Elden Ring's already kind of done this type thing. But still, like, just the fact that this game is successful enough to warrant a third entry, and that the team behind, or Team Ninja and Sony, believe in this franchise so much that they're giving it a shot, because they're not going to continue Bloodborne, but they'll do this, by God. But it's still fun to see that this series is still getting the love it deserves.
Yeah, like, dude, it looks cool. Like, it looks like a lot of fun. I remember playing the first Neo before I really understood what a Souls-like game was. And I was like, I am not built for this thing.
Nope.
This is when I had Gamefly. Back in college, dude. Gamefly was Gamefly was so dope. But anyway, I think this is going, like, being able to explore, being able to have that, because it has been a while since we've got Sekiro, and some people want that kind of exploration with this. And I don't know what Neo 2 was like. I don't think it had that exploration side of things. It was more linear, with open environments to a whole,
but not like, I can go end to end on the map.
Yeah. So, but it looks cool, and it being in like the Japanese kind of like style and everything, the different cultural aspects that they can bring into this, I think it's going to be really cool. So, I'm digging it. Will I play it? I don't know. We might try the demo out to see if I'm any better at it, but probably not. Probably not better at it.
And a lot of games that you saw, like, for the most part during the state of play, got release dates, like, or release years. Like, a lot of it was, some, like, there was 3 games during the state of play that got September releases, like, all within like a few days of each other. And then a bunch of things that just coming early 2026 or just 2026. Like, this is one of them. Neo 3 is coming sometime in 2026. I think the rumblings are it's going to come early, because I know the first and second Neo have come in like the first quarter of the year they came out. So this is probably like a February, March type of release.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. But the next one is something that I've seen a little bit more than the rest of them, but Pragmata has finally reemerged with gameplay and a release window for 2026. So let's check out the trailer.
The future. It isn't just a dream. It's a promise. One we're turning into reality. With our 3rd generation of Luna filament and advanced generative AI,
it's almost like it's a new console launch.
And reality.
Yeah.
We create life for our future.
Well,
Delphi Corporation.
Somebody didn't learn from freaking Jurassic Park. You don't mess with creating life.
Yeah.
Let's see about getting passed through to Earth. And why are these things trying to kill us?
There you are. All better.
You patched me up.
I am DI-03367. They are pragmatic.
Whoa, hang on a second. Don't you have a name or something?
Like how she's posted up on his back like a backpack.
Yeah.
Get behind me.
It's like
I think I can help.
BD.
Yeah.
Targets identified. Neutralizing threats.
Neutralize us?
Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way through.
Interesting. She's interacting with the combat.
Right.
Protocols. Initiating hack.
We hacking.
Hey, D.I.
I said I am D.
Okay. Look, how about we call you Diana?
Diana?
That's funny.
It's real.
Well, and I remember for the longest time, it was like, is this game actually
coming out?
Yeah.
Well, because from what I can remember, it was announced at like the PlayStation Showcase where we got like Spider-Man 2,
Yep.
Wolverine for the first time, and it was just like, okay, cool. And this game was like I think at the time it was 2023, maybe 2024, but it was like far out.
2022, dude.
Oh yeah, because it was 2020 when we saw the showcase. That's right. So yeah, 2022, 2023, somewhere along that thing, and then it just went silent. It kept getting delayed, and it's like, all right, we're delaying it indefinitely. I'm like, okay, and then it just kind of got wiped from the ethos, and then this popped up here, and then it's like, oh, 2026. So it's been in development for a while. I mean, obviously in development before it got revealed to us for the first time, but it's good to know that Capcom didn't give up on this. And like we only saw like snippets there, like we saw some weird realities the last time we saw, like just like shattered glass, like him floating through space, all that kind of stuff. So it didn't make sense, but this is like actually making like seeing the story trailer and some gameplay makes the game make better sense to me. Will it still be a game I pick up? I don't know. We'll have to see a little bit more. Wait till it gets a actual release date, and I'll have to see what's coming out around that time to see if it's going to be worth checking out. But the little girl's interesting. Obviously, he's wearing a spacesuit. It's what goes without, like her hacking powers. Obviously, you can tell she's an android, like this created life, this made by this filament type thing, which that they use. So obviously, she's going to play in like her mannerisms, like her dialogue. It's a dead giveaway. Obviously, it may be that classic trope where she becomes more human, and either the astronaut or her are going to have to be sacrificed down the road. I'm just calling it now, like story beat wise. It's a typical trope. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to break that trope and both of them stay alive. Who knows?
Yeah.
But or she has an enemy and he's forced to take her out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Because AI generated life never goes as planned, right? But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game, Zach? Like, I know we haven't seen it in a while, and this is a different vertical slice than we saw the last time. But does this do anything for you? Like, what are your thoughts?
For me, it's the thing that sticks out is what the combat could be, because it's like we're controlling both the main character and her at the same time, and it's like, okay, how does that work? Which it's not a super complex, thought process behind it and everything, because we did control Atreus and all of that.
Right.
But it's like he's aiming at something, she's aiming at something different. So I'm wondering how that is going to work out and everything.
Right.
My thought is this going to be not necessarily, it's not Souls-like, but it has a certain feel to me. It feels like it might be like Nier Automata.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Yeah, it feels like more of that kind of gameplay.
Yeah,
and
like
everything.
B2 with her little pet droid or whatever it was. Yeah.
So it's like I want to see more of the actual gameplay so we can see what we're getting into, because it's like, if it's a really good story, I'm down for that. But if the gameplay is a little then like gameplay does come into factor of like a game that I will play or won't play.
South of Midnight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I really want to experience the story, but I don't want to deal with the clunky fighting mechanics that don't really develop and everything. So, but looks cool. can't wait to see more. 2026 will be here before we know it, along with a slew of really, really cool games. And that brings us to our final one that we're going to look at from the State of Play, and that is the 007 First Light, which we've been waiting for so long.
Yeah, this is the one by the IO, and it got revealed earlier this week that we'll see it. Like they revealed the title. They didn't reveal who the James Bond would be, but they revealed the title, and this is coming later this week. And everyone thought, okay, SGF. And all of a sudden, at the State of Play, this is like their second to last game that they show, and I'm like, or the third to last game they show. I'm like, wow, that's a big pull for Sony too.
Yeah,
to get first reveal on this.
So we're going to be seeing a new young James Bond with Walking Dead's Lenny James set to co-star. So, Derek, let's check out the 007 trailer.
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority. Same thing in the Navy.
His superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in need of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mum.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination. It was ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
I love the gadgets.
Yep.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
Nope.
It's giving me Hitman and well, with the overlay, it's giving me what was that Ubisoft game?
Gets me every time.
She's not your friend, Bob.
God, Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs, yeah. I was thinking Walking Dogs.
You were close.
Let's go. That's like a 80s Aston Martin that he's driving. Oh, I love that he's wearing the white tux that Sean Connery would wear.
Yeah. Which I'm sure there's going to be suit unlocks from all the different eras of James Bond.
Yeah. And this theme is from Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is like a kind of more rare James Bond that people don't talk about. Ooh.
Nope.
I suppose this is another teachable moment.
Next year too.
Yeah. Dude, I'm excited about that. Oh, you get the golden gun over here. That's cool. So from what I've heard, I did a little watching on this one.
Yeah.
Jake Baldino's channel, if you know him, he's from Game Ranks. He's got his own channel, and he was talking about this. But this is more of the original Ian Fleming, who created James Bond. His take on the character. He has the scar. He's from the Navy and all of this kind of deal. So this is fresh James Bond. It's even
Which is
fresher.
Why he's so young.
Yeah, First Light, his first time out and everything. but it's even earlier than Casino Royale, feeling like with this and everything. So I think we're going to get like a more baby James Bond in skill set and even like how to deal with situations, but somehow it still comes out and everything. But dude, I'm pretty excited about this. It looks cool. The HUD elements and everything, and like setting it in a modern time instead of setting it like in the 60s or something like that gives us a lot more interesting tech to play with. So I'm really, really excited about that, because one of my favorite games of all time is from the original Xbox. The end of the life cycle was From Russia with Love. That game played amazing. It was from one of my favorite James Bond movies, and now we're getting this, which I think is going to be a ton of fun. What did you think about it, Derek?
I'll say the trailer needed to do what it needed to do in this one. Like, obviously, I'm not the big, because I'm not a big James Bond fan. I know of like movies and whatnot, but I really haven't watched. I watched one of the first two movies with Daniel Craig as like the most recent one, and it didn't resonate with me.
If you watch Quantum of Solace, you made a mistake, because that movie sucked. So
I think it was Quantum of Solace, to be fair with you. So
watch Casino Royale, skip Quantum of Solace, and then watch the rest, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because the other that one, oh god, it was bad.
But it's like I've always had an appreciation for James Bond, just because like with Indiana Jones, it's been like such a long running franchise that it just becomes like one of those iconic things that you just know off the top of your head if you're from our generation. But no, I'm really excited. It feels like more of a modern. It feels like IO is doing, like you said. It feels like the Hitman DNA is there. You feel it watching the trailer. But it also brings a newness to it, because it's like you can't just reskin Hitman and call it James Bond.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You have to bring something different to the table. And I think someone had said that the actor playing James Bond is from Dexter, or one of the characters from Dexter. I'm not entirely certain on that, which is interesting. I know Dexter was a huge series back in the day as well. The only, and this is probably being too nitpicky, too petty, but the titles, like both in like I referenced Indiana Jones for a reason too, because both the games we got, like I expect the James Bond game, First Light, will do great. IO doesn't really tend to put out bad games, but I know Great Circle did really well when it came out. It's killing on PlayStation, but what do you think? Like, just to me, when I see this, like the names, like the taglines, just don't hit to me. Like, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because it just doesn't nail that hit. Like when one of the movies you say Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that just hits. When you say Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it feels like the one with Shia LaBeouf that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And then like First Light, like 007 First Light, it's like, okay, I know they like to just do simple taglines like fresh, clean, just like James Bond, suave. But to me, First Light, when they announced the initial name of it earlier this week, I'm like, doesn't scream James Bond to me.
No.
Like it just falls flat. So what are you thinking about this? I don't want to call it a trend just yet, because this is only 2 games in a vacuum. What are you seeing with this pseudo trend, if you will, where like these taglines are just not hitting for these legendary names?
So I think it is because they're series that have gone for so long, decades upon decades at this point. James Bond started in the 60s and everything, and even before that there were books. So it's like I feel like they have to play this in a interesting way. But First Light is a weak title in my opinion, but it's like the first light of day, that kind of could be the play. It could be something with the weapon or the this, that, and the other that could be brought into this. Great Circle, as you play the game, it makes more sense, but it is kind of a weak title. But I do agree, I feel like we could come up with something that is stronger, more striking. You've got From Russia with Love. It's a little cheeky, but it does the point. You're going to be in Russia. There's a lot of things. GoldenEye, to Nate's point, GoldenEye is GOAT. You have that. It's there. Quantum of Solace. Even though you don't know what a Quantum of Solace is, even though it was bad, it still hits Casino Royale. Oh,
Skyfall.
Skyfall. It's just there's so many good ones. The Man with the Golden Gun, Dr. No. Dr. No was the first one, by the way. First ever made James Bond with Sean Connery. But I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a issue with gaming in general. I think it's these long franchises that are trying not to trap themselves in a certain time frame or within, like, it's like they're using that IP, but they're trying not to like hit the canon too hard. But I will say the Indiana Jones game does play so hard into the canon, but in a good way. It's really, really good. And I really am thankful for that. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I can't wait for it.
Like, naming aside, like the gameplay and like what I saw from First Light did its thing to where it's actually on my radar. Like, obviously I never played much of the Hitman games, but the little bit I did play, I always did appreciate what IO was able to do with that IP and just how unique and how many entries they were. Like, they were able to do enough different things to where, or like make the targets interesting to where they just kept making iteration after iteration, because the gameplay loop is pretty similar. Like, I know the World of Assassination that they did, their last one that they did, has gone on for so long that they just kept adding stuff and recycling it because people loved it so much. So, and that's a testament to the studio more than it is to the franchise. So again, because of that, I will actually give First Light a shot just because of who's making it.
Now, my question to you, Derek, is does the character model look generic for James Bond?
I don't know if generic's the right word, but I feel like we've seen it before. Like when he first stepped the First Light you see of him that's shown on him, I was like, man, this looks like a young Nathan Drake or a young Nathan Fillion. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I feel like it is a generic. It's generic because I feel like we've seen it before, but again, it's a young James Bond. Like, I feel like the age is different enough, but I do get what you're saying about the character model, because it's like, all right, this feels like just a copy and paste Nathan Drake.
Dude, it just feels like generic white guy in a video game.
Also true, with brown hair, with brown suave hair off to the side.
Yeah. And it's like, I understand we're not going to get like a Pierce Brosnan. We're not going to get a Daniel Craig. Like, we're not going to get a named actor, but at least make the character model, like, the Scar does give a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of danger here, but the rest of the model is just kind of like, all right, you know, like I'm sure I've it's just not that interesting. It just feels like I could have chat GPT'd that dude's face. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So I don't know. That's one of my qualms. Yes, it's going to be, you're going to be third person, so you are going to see this dude's face a lot. I don't know. It was just one of those things. I was just like, it's not hitting. It's not hitting. It's not hitting for old Zacharoo. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Cave News on podcast services of your choice, and of course here on the good old YouTube. It helps us out a ton. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well, so you don't miss out on anything that we're doing here on the Nerd Cave News. Now, Derek, it's time. We have Summer Games Fest
tomorrow.
I was making sure I spelled Game Fest wrong because my brain was like, I was looking at Game and Fest tomorrow, and Xbox is doing their own separate thing. Nintendo's not really going to do anything because they literally launched the console yesterday or today.
Well, and supposedly they're doing a thing in July, or like they're going to be at Gamescom, so they're going to have stuff to show there, I think, anyway.
Yeah, and we also got confirmation that Yote is going to be getting something in July.
Yes, during the State of Play, they did bring up Yote. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get another gameplay thing. And it was just a tease. And like, all right, we're gonna do a proper State of Play deep dive in July. They didn't give an actual day yet, but next month. I'm like, cool, perfect.
Okay,
what we expected.
So Yote is not going to be at Summer Games Fest. Do you feel like I guess we could kind of go through our predictions and everything here since we're doing predictions. Do you feel like there will be any Sony properties shown at Summer Games Fest?
Yes.
That wasn't shown yesterday.
That wasn't shown yesterday. I mean, yes, because I mean, we only got the first party stuff was either like a memo or like the only like yes, they had the PlayStation logo, but like the Marvel fighting game wasn't really a proper first party.
I felt like it was very B tier.
Correct. So PlayStation first party thing, I do think we will, because I think we've seen a pattern where they not consistently, but we've seen a pattern where they've at least tried to show at least one big thing at Jeff Keighley's whether it's Game Awards, because that's where we first saw Intergalactic last year, and then or like Summer Game Fest. I feel like we will, but I feel like it won't be because Intergalactic was a brand new IP, brand new thing from Naughty Dog, because we hadn't seen anything from them in a while. I don't know if we'll see a new IP, but I feel like if there was one to be shown, because there's not going to be a lot going on at Comic-Con, I feel like this is where we get our next look at Wolverine. I feel like it's time that we get a look at Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if not now, I think the next best thing would be Game Awards, but I feel like that would also be like, man, come on, like you need to poop or get off the pot at this point.
Yeah.
Like we saw the CG trailer and that's it. We haven't seen. Mum has been the word. I know they said be patient. We're cooking up something. Just be patient. But I feel like it's time, like it's prime time, like, the day after the Switch 2 launches, like, and you just had a State of Play before that, or 2 days before this. It's like, hey, now is prime time. Let's remind you why we're top dog as far as coming to making story-driven games.
Yeah, I really, really hope that we see Wolverine. I just don't know. I hope PlayStation isn't like fair games.
God, please no. Like fair games, marathon. This is not the time nor the show to showcase your struggling live service games.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, no. The only other things I could think of that we see from PlayStation that would be new IP or just new projects in general, or just new announcements, would be either from Guerrilla, whether that be a new IP or Horizon 3, or Santa Monica, because there's that rumored space game that Corey's been Barlog has been working on. I feel like either one of those would be the best ones to show, because those are the ones we have. Those have been the longest ones. Now that Naughty Dog's gotten their announcement out the way, those are the next two that we haven't really heard of from in several years, because both their games came out the same year in 2022. So it's been 3 years from now. It's like, what are you guys working on?
Yeah.
Yes, I know Blue Point has been the longest, but also they had a game canceled. So who knows if they have anything ready to show.
Yeah, I wish we would get Blue Point. I just don't know. Like, was that their main thing that they were working on that got canceled, or was it something else?
Yeah.
So I know this is not PlayStation, but where wind meets.
We haven't seen that. I think the last time we saw it was it Game Awards as well?
I think we might have got something there.
So, but yeah, I think that's another game where we've seen more of, like, like we've seen like better interspersed trailers for it. But I feel like that game it's about time for that game to at least get a release date at this point. So where winds meet, I'm just thinking third party. It's like, I know they just did a big NVIDIA showcase for Witcher 4, but do we see more Witcher 4? Like, because that was more of like a demo for like all the. It was a tech demo. It wasn't really a story trailer, gameplay trailer. So do we see more of because I know Jeff likes to show CD Projekt Red games at his stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we see Witcher 4 at this thing as well? And again, they march to the beat of their own drum. So I'm going to go ahead and say, ruling out, we do not see GTA 6 at the Summer Game Fest.
We just got a huge trailer from them, it got delayed. So I don't think we see anything from them. But to CD Projekt Red, my only qualm is they did show off that huge, like the tech demo side, and it's like it takes a lot to do just that, but doing a vertical slice, I feel like is going to be kind of taxing on the team. I don't know. Like, I want to see more. I do want to get a trailer from them, but I'm also kind of like, it's okay if I don't get a trailer at this point, because we did get one at Game Awards. So it is like getting to see like the tech demo side of things. Dude, it looks so freaking gorgeous. I was blown away
when the article popped up, like the screen. I forget where I posted it from, but the screenshot, like the thumbnail they put up for it, I just stared at it for like a good 10-20 seconds. I'm like, this looks so freaking good.
Yeah. Oh my god, it looks great. I'm sure we'll get some Borderlands 4 junk thrown in there.
Yeah.
Do
you think we see anything Mass Effect related at the showcase? Because I know we're far enough removed from Veilguard. I know EA just did its third round of layoffs, but I feel like they want to try and get goodwill and be like, hey, remember Mass Effect? All right. Actually, let me pose it to you this way. What's more likely? We see Mass Effect 5, or we see, again, this is going to be the teasiest of teases, Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, we're not seeing Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to push
Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds 2 is going to be the big thing, because that's like literally like what Xbox is trying to push on their side of stuff. I think Mass Effect would be a better play than that. And I'm sure they're also going to try to push Starfield. Like Xbox. Yeah,
because there's rumor that there's going to be new DLC and they're going to unveil the PS5 version as well.
That's what I was about to say. They're going to say, hey, it's coming to PS5. Judas, I feel like Judas will be another game that we see.
Yes.
And hopefully a release date.
I think so too. I think that's another game where I think we've seen enough of to where it's like, just give me a release date at this point. If you don't, it's it's a moot point. Do you think we see the rumored BioShock announcement?
Possibly, because like with 2K, we are getting Mafia: The Old Country. Like I feel like we've seen enough of Mafia: The Old Country that we won't see anything there. And then you've got the sports game. So all you have is literally Borderlands 4 that will be shown. And then possibly with the BioShock game. So maybe, but I feel like since Borderlands is like the next thing up, that'll get shown. But hey, it also, like, Jeff is kind of particular on, like, he doesn't want a lot of the same type games.
Also true.
Over and over, so we might see, maybe not that. I don't know.
Now, how much of Ubisoft do we see here? Because they just announced, they think the other day, they're not, I don't know, they usually do it later in the summer, like July-ish, but they said they're not doing a Ubisoft Forward this year.
Good.
Which is good. Because, I mean, yes, because how many times do we need to see Just Dance open the flipping showcase? You know what I mean? But even though that series kills, good kudos for them. But at this point, I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
How much the over under on Ubisoft games we'll see at Summer Game Fest, since they're not doing a Ubi Forward? Because yes, while they're not doing their own showcase, they still have to show something. I feel like, just to get, because the investors are going to be like, what's fall going to look like? What's next spring going to look like?
We might see like Hex or whatever they're calling it at this point.
Oh, the next has the Hex. Yes, because Shadows is out now. Like, obviously, there's that. We talked about it last week. The Claws of Awaji DLC is coming within the next few months. But obviously they're probably going to give the roadmap for Shadows, but I think they also want to show, because again, with Shadows and Hexy, we just got logos. That's it. We didn't really see. So I think Hexy would be a good bet, at least to see a CGI trailer, just to get a feel for the setting, the main character. But I don't think we'll see gameplay from Hexy, just because Shadows is doing so well. I think they want to keep the focus on that and not take too much of it away.
Yeah, and going with that thought process, they might just show off the DLC.
Yeah, that's true too. And then Hexy might be Game Awards, where it's like, all right, it's been far enough away. We've given Shadows its flowers. Now we want to get you focused on the next thing.
Yeah, I think we see some sort of Tom Clancy side of things.
I want to see, because there's been rumors. Now they did. I don't know if you saw this. You probably did. They dropped. Now I don't know how I feel about the look of it, but they did drop just an image of Sam Fisher this week with no context. Didn't say anything that mentioned anything. No pomp and circumstance. It was just like boom, and it just dropped. Whether it was leaked or not, can't tell you that, but it was just dropped. And that makes me think that maybe they talk about something Splinter Cell. It's probably not going to be what we want again, but I feel like they're going to do something with Sam Fisher and the Splinter Cell property. Maybe.
Dude, that doesn't even look like freaking Sam Fisher.
I know, which is even weirder, because I'm like, that's not his usual character model.
That looks so ugly, dude. Like,
it does, which makes me worried that it's going to be something kiddie or non-serious or not actually.
Well, the last time he was in was like some freaking mobile game.
Yeah, it was, because that was like all the Ubisoft properties.
Yeah, like I want to say we'll get another Splinter Cell, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I hope that we see Raymond. I feel like that would be a good time to show Raymond.
Correct, because we talked about it a week or so ago. Like, there's rumors of that going around, that they're going to revive the Rayman games or the Rayman franchise. Division 3, if they show something Tom Clancy, I feel like they need to show Division, because their last couple of Tom Clancy, because ever since Siege is still doing its thing, but ever since they took the focus off of going with Siege, like what was it, Rainbow Six Outbreak, then X Defiant and all that kind of stuff, it's just not hit the same. So I feel like
I think they're doing like some sort of like $10 a month for Rainbow Six Siege.
Ew.
Like, yeah, I'm like, dude, this thing has been out for years and it's not free to play to begin with.
Right.
And now you're doing like, it's like, what are y'all like? Y'all are going to kill the golden calf.
Yeah.
And it's the only like no one else.
Ubisoft's going to Ubisoft.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, I had the thought in my head of Ubisoft. But continue your thought. Maybe I'll think of it in just a second.
Do you think we see any Skull and Bones?
No. Maybe an expansion if they do it, but they have been, ever since the game dropped, they're just like, it feels like they've washed their hands of it. It's like, it's out, Singapore government, you got your wish, that's it.
I don't know. They've supported it though.
Yeah, like and they did say that you're going to get out of the ship. Maybe they give you a look at that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. What was God? I had a thought.
Sorry, through
you're good. You're good. This happens. Maybe I'll think of it in a second. Do we see anything Far Cry related? Because it's been a while since Far Cry, because Far Cry 6 was, I think, like 2019. No, 2020 or 2021 was when Far Cry 6 dropped. So I think it's, do we see a Far Cry announcement at this one?
October 7th, 2021 was Far Cry 6. Dude, I feel like Far Cry is dead.
I honestly think so too, and that pains me to say it, because I do that franchise does hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But I also acknowledge that around 5 is when it started the decline, and I'm just like, actually, since Primal, let's be fair.
Yeah, Primal was like, oh my god,
5 got my interest because of because they did the story different, rather than just block half the map behind a story paywall. Well, not paywall, but story marker. But since Primal, it's been on the steady decline, and 6 was kind of like the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for that franchise. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. Far Cry needs to rest.
Yes.
A little bit longer, like before it comes out again, and they need to do something different with the stories. They need to do something different for the gameplay loop as well. Let's jump to Bandai Namco. We're gonna see Little Nightmares 3.
Oh yes, obvious for sure. Because didn't it get revealed at Game Awards?
Yeah, I want to say so.
Or it got revealed. I feel like it got revealed at a Keighley event. Maybe it was last Summer Game Fest. So I don't know, but it got revealed at a Keighley event. So it's I think didn't they give a release year as well?
It's launching this year.
Yeah, so I feel like they need to give they'll show it and then give a day and date.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a guaranteed. The Blood of the Dawnwalker, do you remember that? It's like this vampire RPG from Bandai Namco. Looks pretty freaking cool. Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah.
But Blumhouse Games, we see any of theirs that they've been cooking over there?
I feel like we do get one, just because Jeff likes his collabs with those kind of things. So, and it's easy money for him to help fund his events. So I feel like we will see Blumhouse Games get a reveal. Maybe. I feel like that might be like a pre-show type of deal, but I don't depending on the level of it. Like if it's like some, I don't want to downplay it, but if it's like kind of gives that gimmicky feel, not like super serious, like super in depth, I feel like it'll be a pre-show announcement. But if it's even if it's because I don't want to say indie game, because there have been some big indie games that have gotten their flowers at showcases, but
they do feel like smaller experiences, because I want to say Blumhouse Games got announced either at Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards, and they showed 4 or 5 different games. It was when Hideo Kojima was showing off his horror game with Jordan Peele.
Do you think, speaking of that, because him and Kojima are best buddies, do you think we see Fizzant or anything like that at this?
Dude, I don't think so. I think if we see anything, it's going to be Death Stranding.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to show another 6 to 9 minute trailer, and because I feel like the last trailer we got the cat, because that Death Stranding 1, there was that whole trailer that was just dedicated to the cast, and I feel like we got that already with Death Stranding 2, but I feel like they will show a 6 to 9 minute boss fight trailer just to remind people, hey, at the end of the month this game's coming out.
Yeah, it would be a missed marketing opportunity to not have that. Correct. And since they're buddy, I highly doubt that we won't see anything from them. Moving to Capcom, Onimusha. I feel like we definitely see something from it. Wave the Sword.
Isn't it? No, it's next year.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's 2026.
I don't know why I thought the game was releasing this year, but that's Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. So do you think I don't think we see Resident Evil 9.
No. I feel like it's time to show that, but I feel like Resident Evil has lately been at a PlayStation event to have the first unveiling, so I don't think we see Resident Evil. I think they want to keep the onus on Onimusha, because I feel like that was also revealed at a Keighley event. Yeah. Or was that revealed at a PlayStation event? I can't. They're all running together, guys.
I don't know.
But I feel like Onimusha, just because that franchise has been dormant for so long, they want to remind people hey, here's another vertical slice of why you should be excited for this franchise coming back.
Okami 2, I hope we get some more from it, but I love the first one, but
I think when it got revealed at Game Awards, they said now in development, so I feel like they just wanted to put it out there to let people know they're working on it, and I feel like it's going to go dark until it's ready to give a date.
Gotcha. Devolver Digital is having their own, correct?
They always have their own. I mean, sure, I feel like they have their own, but I feel like in recent years, Devolver hasn't been as big as they used to be. Because I remember, in the heyday, the end of E3, the beginning of Summer Game Fest, like that was like peak Devolver.
Yeah.
But now I just feel like they just put out games and they're just not as critically acclaimed as they used to be.
I feel like they're more of a publishing side instead of like really pushing the development of the games.
Right.
Do we see Crimson Desert? Because we saw a little bit of gameplay not, in about a year ago, and dude, it looked freaking amazing. It looked so cool. Do you think we see more Crimson Desert?
Does it have a release year?
I'm
trying to think.
Don't think it does. Let me look.
I don't think we see. The reason I ask is if it has a release year.
It's coming out in 2025.
Okay, then I changed my answer. I feel Capcom's publishing this, right?
No, it's Pearl Abyss.
Oh yeah, that's right, Pearl Abyss. That's such a tough one because obviously there's only so much time to fit so many games in, and like Jeff likes his broad spectrum. He likes to hit all the ends of the spectrums. I don't. Everything in me is telling me no. Like even though this feels like a Jeff game to show, I feel like no, this won't be. I feel like it'll get maybe like an announcement at maybe Xbox. Like some of this third party stuff has to shift to other showcases because other publishers and devs need to show stuff too. But I feel like that might get shifted to an Xbox thing just to get Xbox, like, because Xbox likes to have those couple key Japanese titles just to remind people they're still serious about partnering with Japanese developers to get stuff on their systems. So I feel like that might be an Xbox showcase game.
Yeah. I just hope we see it because it looked really cool last time. So
facts.
So if we get it at Xbox, if we get it at SGF, I'd be totally fine. We already talked about Sony and everything. I feel pretty good about that.
Which is huge too, because now, granted, a lot of it might just be demo like floors at the event, but like there you have over 60 partners, which is huge. Like it's big. It means that they're taking it seriously. Like this is what has become, like we've already talked about it years before, but this is the new E3, and this many partners are showing it now. Of course, all 60 probably will not be at the showcase tomorrow. But I feel like this is mainly just showcase. I mean, of course, it will be split for Xbox and whomever else decides to have a showcase around the same time. But I digress. It still is a testament to what Jeff Keighley has done and what he continues to do. But I'm just trying to think like any other big games or publishers that we might see from.
Do you think we see anything from Square Enix or Sega?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like, again, one of Jeff's staples has always been like some form of Square Enix game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel because Sega's not really been big unless it's like Persona or like a Sonic game. So unless it's one of those, I doubt it, which we've gotten. I don't know. Like the only thing that could be rumored is like the rampings up of that Persona 4 rumor remake we've been seeing over the last week.
Yeah.
Like if it's Persona 4 remake, that might be the only thing from Sega we see. But
I know they've got that Sonic kart racer game.
You're right.
Crossworlds.
Yes, you're right.
Coming out this year. So that might be what we see from Sega.
But it also might be a pre-show thing too.
Yeah. Do you think
know.
we see Jet Set Radio or Crazy Taxi like that? Like
I forgot all about those remakes.
The Streets of Rage and like Golden Axe and all of that. Do you think we see those?
Oh, if the state of play didn't happen, I'd say no. It's more likely to show its state of play, but it could. Oh no. I'm gonna say it right now. Xbox is going to give a release date for those, and they're going to and it's going to say they're going to come to Game Pass day one just to get that mind share away from Sony.
Ooh, that would be a strategic partnership. Getting Sega to align with Xbox, that would be great, dude. That would be really good. Do we see Kingdom Hearts 4 at all?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. Yes, I know there was some new screenshots they dropped a couple weeks ago, but I feel like if they're dropping screenshots, they're not ready to show anything just yet. If at most they might just have like a short like minute snippet just to remind people, hey, this is still in development. We're still talking about it. We're still working on it. But I do not think we see anything Kingdom Hearts 4 related. I don't know if we see Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 at this.
I don't think so.
Because
I just feel like
Rebirth came out 23 or 24?
24, I want to say.
Yeah, last year. So no. They might do DLC for Rebirth or do like another like in betweener, like another remake like Crisis Core, like how they did between before Rebirth came out. So
yeah.
I don't know, because they just announced a Tactics remake at State of Play yesterday.
Great.
So it does. So I don't think that they show that again.
I think we see Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake.
I did, that I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I think that could be likely as well, because I think that has an October release date.
Yeah, the 30th.
So
it helps to have like info in front of you, so I can be like, Derek's like, how does he know these dates? What's going on here?
I see you looking back and forth to your computer. I know you. So.
Do we see anything from Supermassive or Techland?
Oh man, because Dying Light 2 has been so far removed, and they haven't. Oh no, that new one they announced, the Beast. The Beast. I would actually believe that one, because I think that's also coming this year, is what they've stated.
It is.
So I do think we see that another snippet with an actual date with that one. Okay. I do think we will see the Beast. Supermassive, probably not, because that again, there's nothing merit. I know Kind of Funny brought it up, but maybe Until Dawn 2. Or the studio that did the Until Dawn remake, one of the that might be the shot in the dark, but I don't think we see anything from Supermassive, honestly.
Maybe another Dark Pictures anthology.
Oh, there is.
Is it
Didn't they announce the next entry though?
Yeah, hold on, let me look. Isn't it like Supermassive describes Directive 8020 as the thing in space?
Yeah.
So it's like a space horror game. That's in the Dark Pictures kind of.
I don't think we see another snippet of that again. I think we see, it's more likely we see Dying Like the Beast than we see
anything
Supermassive. Yeah.
Okay. Anything from Xbox do you think we see at this? Like maybe it's like, oh, we get a little tease of it, and then you get to see the rest of it at
only because they haven't really done a pomp and circumstance for it. They just do kind of like blog posts. I feel like if anything, they would, like at Keeley's event, they would announce Starfield's coming to PlayStation, or like whatever the next wave of Xbox games coming to PlayStation would be. I feel like that would be a Keeley thing, and then they would bring in, like, Phil wouldn't come out for that, but he would come out and say, hey, we're excited to bring these next couple games to like the PlayStation after the reveal type thing, so I feel like that would be the most we get, just because Xbox is having their own showcase. I feel like they wouldn't want to show off too much. So I feel like that would be something that they would want to take away. It's like, all right, cool. This is not not that they care anymore to an extent, but also they care as much as, like, we don't want to take the mind share of our properties coming to place. Like, we don't want to take time at our showcase to talk about PlayStation. We want to talk about stuff that's coming from us, even though those games would be coming from them to PlayStation, but you get what I'm saying.
One game that I would hope to see, like, as much as I've been enjoying it, I would love to see Doom the Dark Ages. Well, it's already on PlayStation. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but hey,
I don't know.
If you haven't played it, go play it. And apparently Outer Worlds is going to be getting a follow-up like showcase that's like dedicated just to it and everything.
Correct.
I hope this is like Xbox. I hope we get Clockwork Revolution. That's like that steampunk kind of BioShock feeling thing.
Yes.
Dude, I've been wanting to see more of that for like 2 years. And
who's doing that? Isn't that is that a first party studio? Is that Double Fine?
Let me look.
No, I don't think it's Double Fine.
Hold on.
Because Compulsion just put out South of Midnight. That can't be them. Even though that would be up their alley.
Yeah. Trying to look quickly through this article. I guess I could Chat GPT it. In Exile is the
in Exile. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The people who did the Wasteland series.
Yeah.
So okay. That makes sense for them. Cool. I would like to see that as well. Now that you mention that, because In Exile does really good at creating unique and distinct worlds. So,
is there any other ones that? What do you think EA shows anything off? Because we haven't talked about them. I think they're the last ones. I know we talked about Mass Effect.
I know we brought up Mass Effect. I don't know, because I don't remember. I don't know if they're having their own showcase. I know they didn't last year, so.
But I know they have a pretty good partnership with Xbox because they have the EA Play over there.
I feel like they'll have that sports montage. I feel like they'll have a quick snippet of college football just to remind them, just because it's second year of returning, and I think they want to still remind people like, hey, we're not just Madden anymore. We're college. We do college as well.
Yeah.
I feel like if we do. I feel like it's been enough time in between. I feel like they announce a new Need for Speed. So,
yeah, I would love to see a
maybe we see what that new Battlefield entries.
Battlefield, yeah.
So, because I know they did alpha testing like a month ago or something like that. So I feel like if they're in that phase, I feel like it's time to show something.
Do we see Skate 3 or whatever number we're at?
That okay. Only because I think we've also seen it at Xbox showcases. That would definitely be at Xbox for sure. But I do think if they're doing like a whole sports montage, they end that montage with, oh, and by the way, here's your next look at the new Skate game.
Yeah, I really hope we get some Skate news. I'm definitely a Tony Hawk's person, but I would just like to see the game actually move.
Correct.
In a direction. Do you think we see any new IPs from EA? Because we got that like weird shooter thing a few years ago at this point. I can't remember. It was like you were like a half god, half whatever, and it did really bad.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. That one I don't remember.
EA game. Let's see. Not Demigod. That's not it. Do you think we see any Hades 2 stuff?
I feel like also that like big indie games like that is Jeff's forte. So maybe, but I don't know about that one. Indie games
because he did announce Hades 2 at Game Awards, and I know it's like in it's been in like pre-release or whatever. But Immortals of Avium.
That game came out already.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I was talking about. Do you think, anyway, go ahead with your point before you forget
do you think we see like a new EA original is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I feel like we do. I feel like we will get a new EA original. Where? Don't know, but I feel like we will get that announced just because I feel like EA, kind of like Sony with their one VR game, just to say, oh, we support VR too. EA wants to continue with that, their EA Originals program.
Yeah.
But Hades 2, because it's already in like pre-release, it gets a shadow drop at Summer Game Fest.
Ooh, really?
Calling it now, being like,
okay,
and it's out today or out. It's what at the very latest, it's out by within a week from Summer Game Fest.
Okay, I like him. I like it. Over on the vertical stream, ZR says, "What's the news about Yote?" So we haven't had any new news other than it will be getting a state
Gameplay
of play,
deep dive.
in July. So other than what you already know, it's coming out in October, and that is going to be dope. But yeah, July we'll see more.
Yeah, so yeah, this is their typical thing that they do with a lot of their first parties, and that they did with Borderlands 4 for whatever reason. That was a weird partnership, but I guess Randy threw him some money. But they're going to do a deep dive gameplay. I'm assuming we're going to see like a mission or two of finding one of the Yote 6. Probably to see how to build up to track them down, like because they talk about probably being like a bounty hunter for hire type deal, and but you don't have to keep doing it like every time. Like once you earn up enough, you can go to get your target. You can go get your target. And then so I feel like we'll see like a big vertical slice mission for one of the Yote 6 in that gameplay deep dive. Again, I forget how long those usually are. I know it's usually just like 20 to 30 minutes at most. So, but they didn't really give a day in July. They just said July. Like I looked it up yet. So, but we'll get it. June just started, so we'll get it probably closer to the end of the month. We'll get a actual date in.
We've got one more question. I'm gonna hit that, and then I'm gonna ask you. Z also asked, "What's the next most anticipated AAA game?" That's like
not GTA 6.
That would be the most anticipated. Other than that,
a third party game. He said,
"No, just AAA."
I mean, again, it's stuff like this is subjective because everyone's excited. Like, yes, we're not excited for Borderlands 4, but there are people who are. Just like I know you may skip this one, but I know I'm still looking forward to see what they do with the second year in with college football. But there are people who probably got turned off by the first one, and we're like, you know what? It was,
If you get it on PlayStation, I'll play it. But I have to buy. If I have to buy it, I'm not playing it.
Fair. I don't know.
I think next is like the part that makes it a little bit harder to pick and everything.
Yeah.
Just because it's like where, what does next mean?
Correct. Like
essentially,
I guess like collective, like where everyone's looking forward to it. And I guess if you want to get technical, because it's end of August, Metal Gear Delta.
Oh yeah, Delta does look really good.
So
I feel like people are going to be like, they're going to get it. It's going to look so great, but then you're going to get people that have never played a Metal Gear game.
Oh yeah, be like, what is this? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's going to be like, it makes no sense, and it controls like butt.
Right.
I feel like that is going to be the issue with that game.
But also, to be fair, now the controls were better. But if you strictly go off of the, like what's going on type thing, if you play Death Stranding, then you should just expect that this is what to expect at this point.
Very, very true. I think Yote is one of the bigger ones for the year.
Like
I know
the biggest one for us in the fall for sure.
Yeah. Do you think?
I mean, and I guess when after the Summer Game Fest showcase, like when more dominoes drop, we'll get a better idea because supposedly Outer Worlds 2 is dropping, and we don't. That doesn't have a this year supposedly, and it doesn't have a hard date yet. So we'll see.
Yeah. Doom the Dark Ages. That's the next.
It's already out, Zach.
It's so good, dude. So freaking good.
That's gonna be Zach's. That's gonna until Yote comes out. That's gonna be Zach's, that's gonna be Zach's game of every month.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we see Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra?
Oh, I forgot about that. Something the fan in me is wanting to, but something tells me I don't think we will. Something, don't quote, can't justify it, but something is telling me I don't think so.
Do you think that game comes out?
It's supposed to come out winter this year.
It's been delayed to early 2026.
Okay, it did. I was just about to say, I think it got delayed. So I think the game does come out. Does it hit its early 2026 release window? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Depends on how early they plan on launching it, because if it's like early, like March, April, then I feel like we'll get the next big slice of it at Game Awards. But if it's coming out January, February, then I don't know where to put it, because I feel like that would be Summer Game Fest. I mean, Game Awards would be the absolute latest. Like, hey, just a reminder, this is coming out. If you're looking to find your first big game of the year, this is it.
Yeah. Well, any other predictions you want to throw out there, Derek?
We
can hit Xbox real quick. What do you want to see from Xbox?
E-Day. Give me more E-Day. Like,
that's all I really care about.
Yeah, that's all I care about as well. Like, that's all. If they just showed that and that was a 30-minute demo and that was their showcase, cool. I wouldn't be mad.
Be a happy camper.
Yeah.
There will be no less.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
If we were doing like betting predictions, guys, y'all got to bully this man to get us back to those kind of
shows. It won't work.
You got to bully him, okay? Oh, those were so fun, Derek. Those were so fun. Of course, we're gonna get a montage. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Montage for sure.
I think we see 3 to 4 like Japanese developers. I think we see.
Do you think we see another Dragon Ball Z? Like, not crapping on Dragon Ball Z, but it feels like every Xbox, it feels like almost any time Xbox has a showcase like this, they always show like one of their Japanese games is always some type of Dragon Ball game. And I'm like, guys, there's other IP out there than Dragon Ball. I'm sorry.
I could feel it. I could feel it.
Maybe the next, because I know Hinokami Chronicles 2 for Demon Slayer got announced a while back. Maybe we see more of that too.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Again, it's also another fighting game. It's like, bro, there's also more than anime games than fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, the old school like Xbox 360 Naruto games where you could actually like explore the village and like
those were dope.
Those were so good. I can't remember the name of them, but they were freaking amazing.
Ultimate Ninja Storm or whatever it was.
I think that's what it was. And like you could actually do like the hand signs. You would have to like move bring it back. Bring it back. I wasn't even a Naruto fan back then.
Yeah.
Believe it. I think we might see a ReFantazio DLC show announced there.
That game's been out for a while now, so yeah, that's a good call.
Pow World DLC, I feel like we'll see, because we also saw Pow World, I think, at Xbox last time.
Something like that. I also
there are in a lot of legal issues right now,
and even though they're on the backside of it now, but I feel like there's reasons to justify it either way, like why would or wouldn't be there, but
yeah,
I feel like it would be kind of tone deaf right now to do it, but who knows?
Yeah, I just feel like they're wanting to push past it because they've already announced.
Well, go ahead. I will say they've already announced the next.
They've already announced some things like DLC and all of that.
Oh yeah,
like just press release wise.
Obviously we'll see Call of Duty, whatever the next Call of Duty is. So
duty to the max. You better bring your wet wipes.
I'll say bringing back wall running supposedly is what I. So I'm like, okay, guys, we're going back to the future. Why not? How much Bethesda do you think we'll see at Xbox Showcase?
I feel like when was the
again,
last?
They're doing a post show with Outer Worlds 2. So I feel like we'll just get the date. We'll see a vertical slice and get the date at the showcase and then see the deep dive after. But if my what I say comes true and they announce the Starfield PS5 launch actually at Summer Game Fest, then maybe they just talk about the DLC that they're working on next.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know how much of a presence Bethesda will have at Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, because you look at Bethesda, that's like, of course, Bethesda Studios. Then you have
Correct.
ZeniMax, which will, of course, see Elder Scrolls Online there. They always have some sort of update
The next
or
Fallout
whatever.
76 expansion or whatever it is.
But then, like, Machine Games, which is under that, is Machine Gun Games is under Bethesda.
But we just saw them put out Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so they're not going to be there.
Maybe they announced, it did so well, it's doing like a DLC. Maybe I doubt it. I feel like that wouldn't be a game to do DLC for, but we've been wrong before on stuff like that. So
which of course it just put out Doom: The Dark Ages.
Right.
So I feel like and we've had Oblivion remastered. So I feel like Bethesda is going to kind of be quieter on this showcase.
They'll just show off Outer Worlds 2, and that's it.
Yeah, from Obsidian. I think the coalition with E-Day will be definitely there, but then I think we might,
I think it's time Double Fine shows, because it's been a while since Psychonauts 2. I feel like it's time for them to show something.
Yeah, I wonder if we see something from Overwatch as well.
I feel like maybe the next wave of or the next character. I don't know. I'm kind of over like stuff like that, just because it's like a throwaway, like like the next big event, the next character, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, unless they decide to revive bringing back a story mode for it, I don't know. That'd be the only thing that would get me to care.
Yeah. Well, we did just get South of Midnight from Compulsion Games.
Correct.
Ninja Theory, we just got Senua's Saga, or Senua's, what was it?
Hellblade, Senua's Saga.
Okay.
Hellblade 2.
Yeah. So we just got that recently. Rare, we probably get some sort of...
I know they went back to the drawing board with that Everwild game, so I don't know if they bring that back in some capacity, or they just say, hey, we're just gonna trash that and work, or put that on the back burner and announce a new IP.
Yeah. Do you think we get any kind of State of Decay, or what are they working on right now?
Undead Labs, Labs. Is State of Decay 3 out? Because I know they're working on State of Decay 3 if they haven't already put it out, but I don't think they have. So I feel like we get another vertical slice of State of Decay 3.
Let me look. I'm looking at their website. Okay, this is... Let me look. Their website is like, looks like, I don't know, it looks really weird. It does not have a date yet, it looks like.
Okay, so I think
I think we see something, because
we have to get like a release year or release window, like quarter one, quarter two of 2026 or something, because I feel like that game has been out. We've known about that for a while, so I feel like State of Decay 3, if it's going to be there, they have to give a date.
Yeah. World Edge Studio, which does like Age of Empires, I'm sure we'll see something.
Yeah.
Among that, do you think we see any Forza?
Oh, because what was the last one? Like, not port, but who was it? I think it was Turn 10 Studios that did it, because there's two, Turn 10 and Playground. So I feel like this is Playground, especially since Horizon 5 just came to PlayStation 5. I feel like they want to keep that momentum going. But like, hey, you loved Horizon 5. Here's our next introduction. But I also know Playground's doing the Fable remake.
So I'm wondering if we get any of that.
I don't think so, only because they got... Originally, they were going to launch that at Outer Worlds 2 in the same year, then the delayed Fable. So I feel like because the post show needs, and the focus for their big RPG this year is Outer Worlds 2. I feel like they don't want to take the focus off of
Well,
that.
and we just got avowed, like
3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah.
I feel like they don't want to overload us with RPG games. Like, even though Fable, I feel like would still pop, but I feel like they don't want to take the onus away from, what Avow's done and what Outer Worlds 2 coming. So I feel like Fable won't show up here.
Dude, we're missing a big one here. Perfect Dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we've seen that, well, not several times, but the last time I don't know, because didn't that studio suffer some issues lately, or no?
It's the Initiative. I don't know if they.
Yeah, the Initiative. There was some controversy with, maybe it was before we saw the vertical slice and maybe it quelled it. I don't know. There was some controversy behind the scenes about at the studio.
I'm looking up. It's really hard to, like, when you put Initiative and controversy, like, other things pop up. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting. He's on the case, everybody. Derek's on the case. Yeah,
trying to be.
Derek's on the case, everybody. It fails, then we beat him with a rubber hose. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Beat him with a rubber hose. Beat him with a rubber hose.
Oh, they announced. Co-developer for Perfect Dark announced layoffs back in March. Oh yeah, well, that was several years ago. The game director left.
Okay.
I feel like they've had some, people, like, they've had some people leave and layoffs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I do feel like Perfect Dark needs to be shown here, just to remind people, even if that's like their big 2026 game. I feel like they need to show what's coming after, and I feel like they need to give that game more love and attention, because I feel like the last time we saw the gameplay, it definitely wowed everybody. So
yeah, I agree. I think it was a year ago when we saw it.
Yeah.
Nate telling us to shut up and go to bed.
I know. I'm
long
sorry.
Episode tonight. Yeah, we had to squeeze it all in, guys.
I know.
Next week, I'll tell you, next week's probably going to be a long one too, y'all. I'm gonna just.
Oh yeah, because we're going to be covering. Well, maybe not. Depends on how much they show at the event tomorrow.
Yeah, and then Xbox's thing, but.
Oh yeah, so.
Now that Nick told us to shut up and go to bed, guys, thank you for watching. But we've got one last section left, and that's the Patreon Quick Hits. And, of course, they're brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows just like this one. Become part of the ship, part of the crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave. Like a long-winded Pentecostal pastor.
That's a good point.
And apparently he needs an anime recommendation. Ranking of Kings. It's a great show.
So,
I didn't mean to take you. What did you say?
Oh no, I was
Moonrise. Apothecary Diaries is going to be our show this month.
Yeah, Apothecary Diaries is the show this month. Moonrise, like I know
animation's pretty.
Animation's pretty. The fights are great, but that's about it.
Bungo Stray Dogs.
I don't know what your fixation is with that.
It's just such a weird name. Bungo Stray Dogs.
No. But it is a good anime.
86.
So. Yeah, 86. That. Oh my god, yes, that one for sure.
There you go.
If you want some emotion with your mech anime, like that you haven't seen in a long time since Gundam, do that one.
Emotional damage. All right, now it's time for the Patreon Quick Hits.
Starting off, EA's Black Panther game would have seen players battling the Skrull as T'Challa's son. Adamfall Wicked Isle DLC adds new enemies, weapons, and extra location, and it's out now. Dynasty Warrior series still isn't considered a success in the West, says Omega Force's Tomohiko Sho. Multiverse's online servers close their doors as the game is delisted from storefronts. Rest in peace. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Thank you. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is getting cross-platform mod support for PS5, PC, and Series X and S later this year. Ukulele dev Platonic Games announces layoffs, saying, quote, "The landscape is shifting, so must we." The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom QA Workers Union reaches tentative contract with Microsoft after nearly 2 years of negotiations. Ubisoft just dropped an image of Splinter Cell's Sam Fisher, ... with no context.
That's not my Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher, get off my lawn. Elden Ring Night Rain sells 2 million units on the first day. Following that, Night Rain's director has soloed every boss without relics and wants players to know it's very possible to see everything. Microsoft reportedly pulls back development on its own Xbox handheld to focus on third-party devices. Atomic Heart celebrates 10 million players and confirms one more DLC is in the works. Elden Ring movie director eyeing Warfare's Kit Connor for upcoming adaptation. Capcom removes games for Windows Live from 2010's Lost Planet 2, making online co-op impossible. Star Wars Hunters publisher shutters studio that was founded by Torchlight and Diablo creator before it could even announce its new game. Star Wars Jedi director developing a Dungeons & Dragons single-player action-adventure game. Tango Gameworks remains dedicated to distinctive and new IPs as it starts hiring for a new action game. Victory Banner, a World War II RTS/third-person shooter hybrid, has been announced for PC. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake rumor swirls as collectible maker admits there is something going on. CD Projekt Red plans to stick to making AAA RPG open-world narrative-driven games. Nintendo warns Switch 2 owners not to peel off the screen's protective film unless you're that GameStop employee that just,
punctured that bad boy.
Exactly. So, Skyrim Grandma is playing Oblivion Remastered, and chat is helping out. People Can Fly blames lack of communication with publisher Square Enix for game cancellation. Right before the Switch 2 release, Nintendo ships official out-of-stock signs to retailers. Mario Kart World Day 1 update unlocks online play and allows you to select more characters from the start. Following that, Mario Kart World won't include the 200cc mode, but Nintendo isn't ruling out it arriving post-launch. No Man's Sky Switch 2 Edition available as free upgrade alongside console launch and supports cross-save and cross-play. Switch 2 updates for Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and Pokemon Switch games are now live, including unavailable Super Mario's 3D All-Stars, which you can't find anywhere anymore. NVIDIA says Switch 2 worthy of late Nintendo president Satoru Iwata's vision and boasts most advanced graphics ever for a portable device. Phasmophobia is the next game to get a Hollywood movie adaptation from Blumhouse. AI Darth Vader was the beginning, and Epic reveals plans to let people create their own AI NPCs in Fortnite because that will definitely go over well and won't have any issues whatsoever. Following that, Tim Sweeney says Fortnite's biggest challenge is convincing people it's the everything game and not just a battle royale. Luminous Arise announced for PS5 and PSVR 2. Eidos Montreal brings Thief back from the dead with Thief VR Legacy of Shadow, which is set for a 2025 release on the PlayStation VR 2. Sony's new first-party wireless fight stick called Project Defiant will go on sale in 2026. Switch 2 controller patent points to sequel for million unit selling game, believes the fans, which the image showed Ring Fit. So we'll see. PlayStation Plus Summer 2025 editions include Resident Evil, Twisted Metal, Sword of the Sea, and more. Marvel Tokan Fighting Souls was announced at the State of Play and is a 4v4 fighting game from the developer behind Guilty Gear. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is a classic fighting bundle with new features, which is coming later this year. Final Fantasy Tactics Long-Rumored Remake is real after all and includes voice acting and classic original version. Silent Hill F gets a September 25th release date. Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 are out now. Switch 2 Day 1 update required for backwards compatibility, Switch Online, virtual game cards, eShop, and more. So basically everything that the system needs to run. Ghost of Yote will get a State of Play gameplay deep dive in July. Astrobot is going to get 5 new Vicious Void Galaxy levels and special bots in July. Baby Steps gets a release date of September 8th. And lastly, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots gets a new trailer, a September 5th release date, and Pac-Man as an early unlock for pre-order.
I loved Hot Shots Golf too.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation 1. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play those new Astrobot levels?
I'll give them a shot. You know, I never went back and beat I tried the last Vicious Void planets that they released. Never went back and beat them though.
Yeah. Was that your stomach? It was like,
maybe. I don't know.
Man.
I wasn't paying attention, I'll be honest with you.
It was like trying to like come through the screen and eat me. All right, bro. All right. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is this episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. I'm looking for, there was something that I was going to say. Whatever. We've had a long show.
Shout out to Dan, by the way, just on the vertical. It says, I really liked All Noah Zero. That one's a good mech anime too. It's only 24 episodes long, but it's a really fun anime show. Really underrated. So shout out to him for, cause I'm glad I'm not the only one who's watched that show.
See, if I'm going to like trust somebody on mech anime, it's Dan. Dan knows his mech anime.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Guys, there you go. That is this episode. We hope that you enjoyed this long one. It was good. It was good. A lot of discussion. We're looking forward to seeing what's all going to be announced. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. This has been Zach.
And Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.